Hold on a minute.
Hello,
Hello.
hello.
We're having a few little technical difficulties with Lisa's camera. So she's saying hello on the front-facing camera again today. And we will figure that out for next time. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, Angela. I'm so glad your first time. And Jamie, you too. Becky, hello. I'm so glad you're here, guys. I'm really excited about this project. Are you excited, Lisa?
I am. Very.
So before we switch the camera back, and Lisa will be here and moderating. If you guys have a question, put it in all caps.
Are you excited, Lisa?
For her. Okay. And let's see. We'll probably have a few more people coming in. I know it's summer and I never know what to expect. If you're new, this is the regular time, and it's it's the first and third Saturday of each month. And that gives me time to work on big projects and new ideas. And, you know, I'm a kind of a big project girl, but there's a lot of little techniques that you learn in between when I'm doing those projects. So I mean, there's inspiration to boot. So hopefully. Okay. So did anybody see what we worked on the last time? Because this is where this was born. Lisa's going to hold hers up because she's been working on hers. And this is the one I started, and I've actually added more pages to it. And what it is a shape. And if you watch the last one, you see how it's constructed differently. And it's with just scraps, like gel printing knockoffs, the pickups, stuff from my spray box, roll-offs. So if you didn't see how this was constructed and maybe you caught the hop, this is the same style of book that I created, the moon book, the sculpture book. And this time I did these arches. And the best part about this is you can get through quite a lot of paper pretty quickly. And it lays flat when you want to work in it. So, I mean, that's just awesome. But wait till you see what it does. This is magnificent. Okay, hold yours up, Lisa, before we switch on over. Hi, Diane. Hi, Tracy. Oh, that is so cool. Hold it up a little higher. Oh, okay. She did a heart shape. Can you open up in the middle and flatten out that to show that? Look at that, you guys. Look at that. Hold it up just a little bit more. It's huge too. How fun is that? Oh, so definitely. Oh, that's beautiful too. Beautiful. Oh my goodness. She decorated hers. I haven't got that far. That's awesome. It really is awesome. Amazing. So cool.
I used vintage antique. A lot of it's from antique papers that were my mother-in-law's.
Wow.
Little bits and pieces and scraps she had saved.
Well, you'll have to share some photos on Facebook so everybody can see.
I will.
Or send me some and I can put them on the community page on YouTube so people can see them. That would be awesome too.
Okay.
Okay, so last time, I'm going to switch this camera over. Hey, Martha, how you doing? We're doing something so fun today. So my husband had an annual trip planned with the guys to go fly and race and do all this stuff. And he's been gone since Thursday afternoon. And you'd think that I'd have spent this whole time in my art room, but I'm a silly goofball. And instead I decided to rearrange my living room, dye my hair, do all these other stupid things that I could have done while he was not out of town for 3 nights. And I should have spent the whole time in my art room. I'm kind of kicking myself now because he's coming home tomorrow. I'm going to spend the rest of this day in this room right here. That's what I'm going to do. That's my plan. So last time it was suggested, we had about half of that done. I've added more pages, and you really should see how this book was constructed because it's not the way you think, the way it works out. And that's in the first. Lisa, how long did we go in the first one?
A little over an hour. It wasn't much
Yeah.
over an hour.
So if you guys get a chance to go back, make me a chipmunk, speed it up, whatever, to see the construction here, it is really fun. And it's such a good way to use up those papers. I mean, I know y'all have stacks of papers, right? Raise your hand if you have a stack of paper.
I literally
Hi,
pulled out
Sarah.
the ugliest things I had.
That's what I did too. I mean, it was stuff that I did 3 years ago. It was failed gel prints and transfers, alcohol ink play where I was just picking up off the stencil. I mean, this is a prescription paper that I used in my spray box. It's just the ugliest stuff, and there's a reason, because I may or may not open the book, but I have a plan. So one thing you want to do after you get your book constructed, you're going to want to take some glue and you're going to want to put a couple coats on this edge right here, just to give it more strength. Okay. And then what we're going to do first is choose a fabric that's going to go right here. It needs to be thin. If you guys, let me grab the moon book. I'll show you what I mean. Okay. So the moon book from the Hop, I did the same way. And I used this thinner fabric, or really bendy fabric. That's what you're going to want, so that it can tie open and it'll bend nicely. See that? And then this is what turns into a sculpture. So what I'm going to do now is choose the fabric that goes there. Did y'all see the Hop? This is houses that. If you didn't see it, you should go watch. You definitely should. I mean, it's a quick video, 15 minutes, something like that. So we're going to choose a fabric, and the reason why this one is special, we're going to turn it into a goddess, kind of a Mother Nature-y goddess. And I'm going to make a paper doll. You guys are going to help me choose which image I'm going to use, because there's going to be a woman sticking out of the top of this, and this will be her dress. You guys suggested this last time. Do you guys remember saying that?
Yes. Yes, we did. We said that the way it looked, that it could be a skirt, and
So
it sure can.
this is one of those paper tubes that I made out of a roll-off or something on music paper. So this I had ribbon on, and I want to put my paper doll on this straw that I made, and then I'm going to have this stand for it. Look at that, guys. Isn't that awesome? I'm really excited about this. And I never did get around to doing anything with this, and this is why. It was waiting for me, and I might paint it, put some stripes on it, or I don't know, something dynamic, something with a high contrast. I'm thinking stripes would be cool, like black and white.
That would be cool.
So we're going to do a couple things and let it dry, and then we will get to choosing our topper and figuring out kind of how she goes. I've been pretty excited about this project. And this is thicker than the other one that I made. So it was a challenge getting them lined up. And when you do it, when you glue it, put it flat against your desk, and it doesn't have to be perfect, the shape. I mean, ish. It's just an ish thing, because you can go in and trim it. And because they're glued back to back, it really creates, it fixes the edges, basically. So
it is very important that you follow this step, because I remembered her showing us, to line our pages up, but I didn't. So mine is not lined up perfectly. It's a little bit wonky. And so, if you want to learn from mistakes of others, I definitely can tell you that, it is very practical, and it makes sense to do that each time to make sure you're getting your edge, that inner edge where you want your most strength stacked straight up and not slipping or sliding from the other pages.
So the other thing about that is use a loose glue. Like I just used school glue and a little water because you want it to be able to move for a minute to get it lined up. And if you use like art glitter glue, it grabs too quick and you can't adjust it. So use just, really easy glue. So I'm trying to decide, and I probably should pick my image first, but I'm a ding dong. So I'm not going to. I want this to dry. So I did pull out a few things here, and I've got an idea to make kind of a cover for it. So she has like a dress. Crazy, right? Maybe. I mean, maybe it's just a peplum or something. But I've got these fabrics, and this one you sent me, Lisa. You see that? I'm thinking maybe
I do
that
see that.
one.
I wore that at one time. I wore it on a cruise, actually.
Did you?
Yeah, it was one of those gauzy skirts, but I loved it. I love the fabric, so I cut it up.
I have cut up a skirt. Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't wearing it anymore because it was too big, so I just decided to cut it up.
Wish my clothes would get too big. Darn it. So I think, yeah, I'm going to use that and we'll get it started drying and then we'll choose our image. So I kind of want like like when I did my shrine, kind of the mother goddess. I have goddess themes all the time. What I want to do here, let's find a piece that is easily, I think that'll work right there. I have some images kind of set aside right here in front of me. And what we're going to do is you guys are going to help me choose between a couple of them. That way it's a group project, right? Oh. I want this to be as wide as I can get it right here. This was a cute skirt. Where was your cruise to?
We just went to the Bahamas on that one. It was
just
yeah. So yeah, the Bahamas. I mean, we drove down to Miami and caught a ship and was gone for 5 days. It was nice. I took the girls.
Awesome. I don't know if I can get this wide enough. I might have to do it in 2 pieces. You want it to be thin, so it bends. And what I'm going to end up doing is adding another layer because I'm going to have the straw in there. So I do want it really thin, and it doesn't matter if it's perfect. It's going to be, this is the bottom layer. What I'm going to do is create a channel for that straw to fit in. All right, let's try that. Let's see if it's wide enough here. Yeah, it's fine. It's just fine. I know it's uneven and I don't care. And then I'll trim it after. It's going to drive me nuts. I've been to both sides, the east side and the west side of the Bahamas, and on 2 different cruises with RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yeah, I remembered you saying that.
So
hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
It was so fun. It was me and I went with my gay besties, some dudes from work too, friends. But come on, I need you to come out faster. That's not going to work. Let's get one that's full. I know I have a full one here. And it was like I was one of the only girls on the whole boat. It was so fun. It was drag shows every day and hung out with the queens, and it was so fun. I cannot win here. I need this to work. I'm just going to open it. I'm going to cheat. I have more of these. I just want this to start drying. So I'm using this fabric glue because it's kind of rubbery. I'm going to be peeling my fingers in a minute. Now, I put about 3 layers of that other glue on there. The school glue. Okay. So now we need that to dry. You guys can help me peel my fingers. So I've got a few of these paper straws here, and I'll decide in a minute. I'm probably going to use that one because it matches the green fabric. And then we're going to choose an image. And I'm going to show you kind of why I decided this or that in my choices. And then we will narrow it down. So I wanted somebody that had like I'm going to use an old image from a book, but I wanted somebody that had a wise face, kind of looking at the, this is from my favorite book, looking at the kind of at you, mostly, and kind of older, wise, happy. There were some, and facing me for, various reasons. And I also was thinking about the size. That was kind of, size matters, right?
Always. A
Um,
little of this, a lot of that.
yeah. So what I have here is stuff from, like, I thought about her first because she's about the right size. I mean, I don't care if she's oversized. I think that would be kind of cool to make it really more abstract, because this is kind of an abstract project, right? But she kind of looks like she has RBF. You know what that is, ladies? Do you know? Oh, let me see here. Oh, Becky, they do know how to have fun. You are so true about that.
I used to have a guy that did my hair, and he would dress up at a local club, and he'd say, "Hey, I'm gonna be on stage Friday night. You coming?" And one night we went and surprised him, and I had the best time. It was a ball. they did a good job. I mean, they could sing. They were dressed up, just like flamingo. To me, they look like flamingos, just up there having the best time. So it was great.
It is a lot of fun. These are kind of the right size, and these came out of a vintage 17 magazine. I don't like that she's wearing pink, but I'm probably going to cover.
I like the polka dots.
What?
You said something about doing black and white on the base. That the polka dots.
She is cute, but she doesn't look like wise to me. She looks
reckless,
young and cute, and yeah.
Hi, Mary Ellen.
Hi, Mary Ellen. Welcome. I did put some things in here that I thought I might add to the book. I thought it would be really fun to continue some legs into some of those pages. And I did pull out some images of vintage shaving stuff, some extra legs that I could put in there. There's some ads with socks. I mean, isn't that fun? That would be
I like
really
the shoes
fun.
there.
Isn't that cool? Oh, this one right there.
Electric razor.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and this is like an article about what you should know about shaving your legs. Okay, so now we're down to the choices. I wanted to kind of show you why I did what I did there. All right, and this is, have you guys, I don't know if you know about Daniel Bloom. I have talked about these books before. They have so many cool images, and I just get them on Thrift Books. All of them are amazing. So this I pulled out. Can you guys see them? I really like her. She's super fun. She's not quite looking at me, but she's about the right size. And then, let's see, there was another one here. Oh, I really like her. So I tried to print these, and I bought these books to cut up, but this one's pretty old, and I've tried to do printing. I had to order some ink, so my printer didn't work. But she's kind of cool, but maybe she's a little small. That's kind of what I'm going for right there. I mean, I really like her. So lastly, last one, this. What do you guys think? Do you like it? So my printer's not working. I did try to print this one. And I'm thinking I'm just going to cut out the cover. I mean, because I got this. This is from my favorite museum at the Smithsonian in Washington, D.C. It is the Sculpture Garden and Art Museum. And
Hi, Julie.
It was amazing.
And we're glad you're here. Thank you for giving us thumbs up, says you're coming in.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much for all of that, you guys. You guys are awesome. I appreciate the thumbs up, the comments, the love, the patience, the patience. I like her, but she looks too young to me. And I really like her, but is she too big, you guys? What do you think? Is she too big? Let's see.
I think her head may be too big.
So, a couple more here. Thought it would be fun if you guys could help me decide here. I saved this one, but she's not quite looking at the camera or at the audience, but I do like her. I kind of want her arms to be separate though. So that was kind of a decision I was making. So I could cut her arms out and maybe put some brads on it so that they move.
Yes, I like that. That was Paula Keen had done that with one of her books. She had a little bookmark hanging out that its arms moved.
Mary
That's
Ellen.
Interesting.
Anne, it's so good to see you. Mary Ellen, the book is, if you look up on Thrift Books, go look for Daniel Bloom. And all of his, I mean, this one is about it's American opera, and all the images are just amazing. And I specifically get them to cut up. I shouldn't, but I do. And then he also has the history of talkies, and that one is super cool too. And they're old books. I don't think they're in production anymore. I probably shouldn't be cutting them up, but I was going to say, she was one of my favorites, and she looks kind of wicked in this pose. And when I was at this sculpture garden, I actually took several black and white photos for my photography darkroom class of her at different angles. And I had some framed, and I have them somewhere, but I really loved her. And this angle is not flattering for her. There's this gold one here, which is kind of cool. And I could move her arms that way, but she's kind of weird. And I'm kind of thinking the one on the cover is my favorite. Oh, and there is that one again. And it's kind of the perfect size too. But I wish her arms were in a different position. I could always cut arms out of something else. And then there's this one, which is quite weird, but super cool. And I would have to cut her shoulders down if I used that one. So what do you guys think? Let's have a vote. Do we like this one? From the front, maybe? What's that?
I don't think so.
No one likes that one?
Diane likes that one.
Oh, what did I do there? Let's see. She's kind of wicked and her arms are in. This one. Oh, this one. And then I'm going to show you how I'm going to create a paper doll out of her when we decide here. Or do we like the lady that has the wings on her head? She's kind of more abstract.
Yes, she does need arms, Anne.
Yeah, that would give me the opportunity to put arms on her.
What we're doing is we are trying to find a lady to go inside of the book that she started last week. You know,
to go
like,
on top.
It'll be her skirt. The book will be her skirt, and then she'll poke out from the top. Diane likes the very first one.
The one on the cover?
Yes.
Hey, Chris. Hi. How are you? Okay, so let's take it down to this one, or this one. What do you guys think?
Hey, Margalo Pearl likes the wing hat woman.
How you doing, Margalo? So glad you're here. So
Diane thinks you could make pasties for her breast.
Well, I actually have a plan for her chest. So because I'm doing this in it's kind of a cross between my art room angels and an art journal. So I have a plan for that, and you'll see.
Becky likes the one with no arms.
No arms, wings.
So it's kind of a mix. It's kind of a mix of what people like.
So 1, 2, 3. Vote now. We have Angela likes the middle one. Becky likes number 3.
Angela likes 2. Julie Parker likes 2. Hi, Julie. And Mary Ellen Weber likes 2 also.
Oh, I think 2 wins, huh? This one, right? Okay, let's do it. We're cutting up the book.
2 wins.
Doing something brave. I thought it would be fun if you guys helped me decide. I know that was a lot. It was a lot of excitement there. So what I'm going to do here is take out this whole page. I've done it with some of the other ones. Let me get my little blade here. I'm just going to give it some help.
Diane, I don't know. I personally am not opposed to nudity in art. I mean, if the naked body is not a natural thing, then why are we born naked?
Well, because they're sculptures, I'm way less offended, right? I mean, being a sculpture on the other ones doesn't bother me at all. Now, if it's I don't. Well, I do have some nudes in my house, actually. It just depends on the art and how.
I don't have any nudes in my house, but it would not offend me if it was in good taste. I mean, obviously some nudes are a little different than others, but when you're talking about a baby's behind, I mean, I don't see anything wrong with that.
So I checked the other side to make sure there was nothing that I really needed because my printer is out of ink. And I'm doing a rough cut first. Well, let's see if I save them. I really like these. Anyway, that goes back in my little box of treasures there that I had out first. So next, what I'm going to do is, before I fussy cut this out, I'm actually going to glue it onto some chipboard.
Hi,
And,
Eddie.
oh, hey, Eddie. Glad you're here. Oh, that's okay. We're fussing around right now anyway, because we are turning the book into a sculpture with a sort of an art room angel topper. Kind of a mix between assemblage and an art journal. So I'm thinking this arm's going to be great. This one I'll just leave in place, but this one I'll make movable. I could cut that right there and make this arm movable, but we're going to lose her sword. We don't want that. So I'm going to figure out a way to not have that, or I will add, like, make it a wand or sort of a friendship totem, or I don't know. It'll be something fussy though in the end, and I don't want it to get bent. So I'm going to glue this down. I'm going to use my favorite glue, and this is I know I've given this tip before, but I cannot tell you how good this glue is, like, too many times. So this is and I keep refilling it, the Crafters Workshop Matte Gel Medium. And it is the smoothest, best glue for collage. And my papers don't bubble. It comes out really nice and smooth. So I really recommend it. I actually bought a different kind in a giant container after I ran out of my first jar of this, and did not like it as much. And I've tried many different kinds. I'm looking for a card right now. But that is my favorite always. So I'm going to
Sharon,
here. Yes.
if you go back to the sword thing that she's holding, could you possibly take a skewer and wrap the paper around it so that it would keep it kind of intact?
Or give it some strength somehow. Yeah,
Yes.
probably.
I mean, I was just thinking before you cut it, you may want to preserve, a little more.
Well, I could do it afterwards too. And then maybe I could even figure out a way to like cut her hand out so that it wraps around whatever I choose there. So maybe wouldn't use the actual sword, but I'll create another one with a 3D object.
Yes, I like that.
Maybe that's a great idea. It would have been nice to have one with her hands on her hips so that, she had like bent elbows that moved, but that's okay. And ultimately, I'd like it to be able to tuck inside the book as well. Although it'll be on this stand when I'm done, most likely.
Okay.
So we're just going to make her crazy. Okay, and that's going to dry nice and clear. I tell you, I'm going to be peeling my fingers. All right, so we're going to let this dry before we move on to that clump off of there. I'm going to let it dry. It won't take long at all. Now, I need to create a cover for each side of this that is split. Everything else is, because it goes so nice and flat like that. But
can you show the matte medium again?
Yes, I can. This bottle is destroyed because I keep refilling it with a big one. It is the Crafters Workshop Matte Gel Medium, and it's so good. Chris, I'm so glad you made it. I said hello earlier, but there was stuff going on, and I don't know if it was loud enough. I'm so glad you're here. When it's closed, the book is this thick, and I did this one thicker than the other one on purpose to see how fat I could make it, because I wanted her dress to have lots of structure. Now, wouldn't it be fun to do this in like a Spanish senorita with like a lacy head cover that goes down over it? Or, I mean, I can think of many characters to create this with, and it's so fun. And storing it on here is going to be a blast. I mean, look at that. I'm going to have to glue a channel, but look. So now we're going to create the cover. And the reason why is because we need to put some ties in here so that this will tie open or closed. And I want to put something over the top. So what I
Sharon,
did, yes.
how thick is your book when it is closed?
Right
if you
there.
measure from the side.
Oh yeah.
And
I mean,
how many
keep
pages?
Pages. I did not count my pages. All I did was take a pile of crappy papers and some dictionary pages, and I sat with a template and cut it out, traced it out with a pencil and cut them out. And I even like took it in a bucket down in my recliner and sat and did it until I had a whole bunch of them. I creased them really good before I glued each one down. And don't worry about if they're perfect. It's not important, because the one behind it will, make up for it always. It's about an inch, and I did not count. I just kept going and going and going. So I would say it's about an inch. Yeah, right there.
Yeah, I don't think mine's quite. Well, it may be right at an inch, but it probably would have been a sturdier. I feel like I could have added a few more pages when it was all said and done. But
the other thing I did was I rotated like a piece of cardstock, a piece of paper bag, a piece of, like I put the thinner pages between the thicker pages. And I because those thicker pages are going to give it structure. Although this book gets quite heavy as you glue each folded piece down, because of your pages are folded in half. Plus there's the weight of the glue. So it's a nice, doesn't yours feel nice and heavy, Lisa?
It does. But it fits well in my hand. I could have done it.
Yes.
Like I said, I could have done it a little thicker, but I feel pretty good about it for my first try.
I love that you can make it flat anywhere to create with these. Like to go at it with texture paste or stencils or stamps or, painting or whatever it is that you want to do. You can make it flat just by folding the back, That's so fun. It's the flattest art journal ever, unless you're Coptic stitching. Okay, so I did something ahead of time. A little crazy. Let me grab this. I hope it's dry. I think so. This will be fun, guys. I wanted something textured to go on the front and the back. Not too thick, because all the other pages are very smooth. But I wanted something a little fun, and I used Donna, I think. I used her stencil, and over a dirty, it was a dirty stencil. You see all the bleed? I love it. It's amazing. But we're going to go one step further. I'm going to take this. So I'm going to be cutting a front and a back, and I'm going to separate this so it fits in my box. It's just barely dry. And the texture paste I used was the Golden Modeling Paste, which is magnificent. It's very smooth. Okay, I'm going to use that. And I'm going to do something fun here. We're going to put that out and that out. We're just waiting for our paper doll to dry, and that's why we're fussing with this right now. So what I have here is some magicals. You could also use spray color. You could use rust powder, although you got to wait for it to be overnight. You could use any of your mediums that bleed and move. And it's just on white cardstock, dirty stencil. That's why there's color. But what I want to do here is add a little color to this. And I'm kind of thinking more earthy tones, although these aren't very earthy. These shakers have all kinds of other colors in them. So this probably won't be dry by the time we're done. I want to show you kind of where I'm headed with this. And then let's add a little of that blue. Those are two different kinds of magicals. Both Lindy's though.
We'll be waiting for you, Martha.
What's that?
She's taking care of her husband.
Oh,
taking care of her husband.
Okay, so just a little bit of powder. I find that the shakers, they have more colors in them. So they'll have like lots of colors. It'll come out. I'll show you here in a minute. Yellow and, red. And so we're going to spray those. I should have sprayed them with a colored spray. That would have been fun. See, that was brown and it comes out this sort of red color because it's got yellows and it's got, isn't that fun? Soak it. And then I'm going to go a little mad here and use a bit of this one that I love so much. Nope, that's not it. Hold on, guys. I'm grabbing something here. Not it. Find the right one here. Okay. And then I'm going to take away the white and use a little bit of my ink spray here. And that'll darken things up. So when it dries, it'll dry a whole lot lighter. Oh, that was great. Been all over my desk now.
I tried to do splatters on the piece.
Tried? What do you mean?
well, I got it on the piece, but I'm still cleaning spots off of my laptop.
Oh.
And I'm just praying that nothing happens with it that requires, that I take it to my husband and say, my computer's not working because I'm going to have to clean it before I can go. It has got splatters everywhere. It was artsy, though. It is artsy.
Oh, no. That's why I had to hang mine from the ceiling, this new one, because it's a touch screen and every splatter that gets on it is like, it like affects the screen.
Yeah.
Okay. See how many colors come out? I mean, I don't know if I like it, but then when it dries, it's going to look different. So many colors in that shaker. All the yellows and the reds that you see, that's all from the shaker. The blue is specifically the, So that's going to dry lighter, and I'm going to set this off to the side. And you won't get to see this until tomorrow. I'm probably going to go over it one more time with a little bit more like a brown, like an oxide ink, just to get our white spots and to make the shapes stand out. So I'm going to set that to the side.
Diane says her keyboard is a testimony to all the different things she plays with while she watches videos.
I'm really glad that my new keyboard is wireless because I put it on the floor. Like it's on the floor right now. Okay, so now let's get our paper.
Julie Parker said she got 2 of the magicals the other day. She said they're really bougie.
They're really what? Bougie?
She got the Bayou Boogie Gold and the Bougainvillea Fuchsia. And if I said that wrong, please forgive me. I'm from the South.
You're funny. So I've got to decide what goes on the back here. This is where I had this on my desk when I was doing the bubbles. And I could just leave it and then go over it with a stencil later with a little white maybe to break up, and give it some contrast. She's almost dry. Might have put too much glue on there. I usually use a card. I'm going to let you chat for a minute so I can hit this with the heat tool just for a moment. Okay. Okay.
That's fine.
I'm gonna mute myself, guys.
So what is everybody doing today? Has anybody had any fun experiences in your craft room? Oh, Martha, I'm sorry to hear that he doesn't like his oxygen mask. That makes it a little more scary. I remember when my kids were little having to give them breathing treatments, and it was not easy. They would pitch a fit. They didn't want nothing around their face. So I understand. Diane, I water my plants too. I have to water my babies outside, and today I watered my house plants. I have a dining room that looks like a jungle. My daughter gave me a little start of a plant, and she said, "Now, Mom, it's going to get big." And it was in a smaller pot, but it was like at least 5 inches tall and 5 inches around. So I thought, well, it'll take a while. That thing was climbing up the window, and I switched it and I put it in a bigger pot, and now it is a monster. It is a monster. I'll have to post a picture on my page, but it has grown to the point I don't know what I'm going to do with it. It's almost out of control.
I have an aloe vera plant like that. It's so big, and it's in an antique punch bowl that I spray painted orange with some like pool noodles. It's got pool noodles in the bottom of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big one, but I cut up some pool noodles so that it had some drainage, and it's striving. I mean, it is thriving in there, and it's twisting. Like the stalk of it is twisting because it's so huge for the pot. And I don't necessarily have a green thumb. It was kind of big when my mom gave it to me, but it is out of control now. And then I have a mother of 1,000 young all over my house because they keep having babies, and I keep like not wanting to kill them.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I've got those. Last year when we went to a conference, we went to a cactus house.
I should just cut this
in
off.
Charlotte, and it was unbelievable. They were getting ready to close down, and they had cut all these, pieces that they were going to try to root, and they hadn't gotten them rooted, and they had already like scabbed. So, the lady gave us a big full bag for $5. I felt guilty. I went back and gave
a big full bag of what? What was it?
All kinds of cactuses. There was probably 30 different varieties in the bag.
Wow.
And there was enough for both my daughter and I to have some. And just about all of them have survived. He's got one. It's called a monkey tail. Hers is not doing too well, and mine's already had 2 babies. So
I'm making a decision here. I'm giving her hips. Cutting this arm off because if it's hinged, it will, or if I use the hand, it will be separate. So,
Martha, clippers are fun once you get a hang of it. You'll enjoy doing those haircuts.
Martha, I'm sorry your husband's having such a hard time. I saw that while I was drying. I'm sorry. I know that must be rough. So, did everybody bring their funny bone? I always say B.Y.O.F.B. Bring your own funny bone. So, I've been feeding a squirrel. And I feed this squirrel every day. Every single day. She comes to me every time I go outside, she comes to me for peanuts. And then I have a skylark now. So my skylark, I can cut this off too because I'm going to hinge it. My skylark is, I mean, he comes and begs at the fence all day long too. So there are moments where I have a skylark and a squirrel next to each other, waiting to get a peanut. And I'm sitting outside with my creatures, and a deer walked up to the fence right next to the other two animals. And we have deer that come in the front. Like they'll be we live across the street from a school, and there's a hill behind that, and like we're on the edge of town, and that hill is like a walking trail. And really, the deer will come in the front and get in the garden and whatever, but we've never seen them in the alley. We've never seen them go between the house and the garage like that. And when it walked up and stuck its face against the fence where the skylark and the squirrel were, getting their peanuts, I was like, I am Snow White. And I messaged Bill and I said, you're not going to believe this. Because that's what he calls me, is Snow White. It was pretty funny and scared the poo out of me too. So the dog, I don't let the dog out with me every time because obviously the squirrel won't come and get her peanut from my hand. If the dog's in the backyard, and he runs her off. And so the dog was at the sliding glass door, watching me, mad that I wouldn't let him out. And all of a sudden, he saw the deer, he barked, and the deer did a jerk reaction. And each time he barked, and finally he ran the deer off. So I didn't get to feed it. Next time, right? There's always a next time. Just doing a bit of screaming.
I'm not Snow White, but I do have a funny story. The people that live across the street have this black lab. His name is Frankie. And Frankie, when he was a puppy, he would bark and he'd about drive us crazy. But, it's been a long time since he was barking like crazy. And I kept hearing him bark. I thought something's wrong. And the house beside them has been vacant, but it has been purchased. And so there's been a little bit of activity. Well, he's barked at them, and, they've not been there enough. And I thought, okay, there's somebody over there. So let me just look out the window and see. And I looked out, and there are two big, what we call turkey buzzards. They are probably a foot tall. And they're over there fighting over a squirrel, two of them. And this dog is hysterically barking. Well, the squirrel was dead. Somebody run over it. And they had drug it up in the yard, and the dog was going crazy. Well, then he started creeping closer, and he found out that they would move back. So then he just lunged, barking like crazy. Goodness. And he run them off. I thought, now, next time they come, I'm curious to know if he's going to chase them immediately or if he's going to wait. But it was pretty funny. He was cowered down and it's like, I don't know what to do. Somebody help me here.
Those buzzards the turkey buzzards are pretty brave, aren't they?
They generally will stand even when cars are coming pretty close. But our street is pretty busy, and it was just funny. It was just funny because I had seen one of them there the day before, and it had drug the squirrel off the road over into the new neighbor's driveway. I thought, what a gift for them. But then the next day they came back, and they were trying to do, what they could to get that taken care of. Yeah.
Nobody wants the buzzards in their yard.
Lot. They can't make up their mind, whether they're going to cross the road or not cross the road. So they get hit pretty quick here.
So I love her arm, and I saw ain't nothing wrong with a little roadkill. Diane, yes, the squirrel keeps, I am sacrificing all of my plants that I planted outside right now, all my pot plants, my potter plants, not pot plants. Like all the flowers I planted, the big buckets and stuff, because the squirrel is putting peanuts in all of them. There are peanuts buried everywhere. And I keep having to like put more dirt in my plants or in the pots, you know. It's pretty funny. Okay,
I
so
had something messing in my planters in the front, and I had to end up putting mothballs in those plants because every morning I was cleaning up a pile of dirt, and I guess they were trying to hide something in it, but it was just making a mess on my porch, and I don't want my porch to be messy. So
well, I am sacrificing it in the name of love for the squirrel. Honestly, I'm wondering if I put a circle here, if I can reinforce and give her more of a shoulder, because you know it needs a place to, you know. Does that make sense? I'm gonna make it a little smaller. We're just figuring it out as we go. I have not done this before. I do make art room angels out of 3D bits. And I made the moon sculpture, but you know, we're figuring it out as we go. Okay. I'm going to get a little ink out here and do her edges. Because let me get that one out.
and I know the squirrels love cashews. They do.
Oh, I
they
bet.
take it out of the bird food. You know, when we were
who can
feeding
afford that?
during the winter, we bought the premium bird mix because it was supposed to draw a bigger variety, and we were feeding the squirrels.
You were feeding the squirrels cashews? Those are some spoiled squirrels.
Well, it was in the bird mix, but I would see the squirrel out there hanging on for dear life, you know, to the feeder, you know, trying to get everything he could, and he's so funny. It's the same squirrel that I sent you a video of.
Oh,
The one
yeah.
that it was drunk falling off the rail.
I'm looking for it. There it is. Just have a little sponge here. I'm just getting rid of those white edges. That's all. And I don't need perfection. I'm not looking for that. I want artsy. So luckily, as a mixed media assemblage artist, perfection is not really important. For the love of vintage and all things kind of distorted. And we're just going to make her fun anyway. So I guess she's not really a Mother Nature character with this helmet. So we're just going to make her a queen, right? I can see many different characters you could do with this. Many. You could do it like junk journal, pure junk journal, just using, and create it in this style. Doesn't have to be an art journal.
If you can copy her, you could take her put different hats on her.
You could, absolutely. Wouldn't it? And that's kind of what I was thinking about with the legs inside. How fun it would be to put a set of legs,
Yeah.
So on the top.
Julie says she looks like Joan of Arc. And I'm thinking warrior.
Yeah, she is kind of a warrior. I like that idea. Warrior's good. Okay, so I'm just going to glue that on there so that it has more reinforcement there, I guess. I'm going to glue it from the back. And then this is going to go on. The reason I'm going to use a paper straw is because, where did my straw? Oh, there it is. Is because I can flatten one end of it to, oh, that's right. So I'm going to be putting a back on this anyway. I'm going to need to. I didn't even think about that. I should have glued the straw in. Okay, learn from my mistakes. If you do this, put your, glue your image down to your board, and then put your straw in and glue another board to the back of it before you go and fussy cut that out. I can just tear some book page or whatever, or put a popsicle stick to make her stiffer. You could double your chipboard to make her nice and strong. I mean, basically she's a paper doll. So I'm going to have that part flat, and then this will fit inside of here and sit on top. And I can trim my straw, obviously, to fit at the level that I want. How fun is that? So funny.
She's gonna be
I
sassy.
think I need to cut her off right here, because, and then I can add this piece into one of the pages. But I think she must be cut off right there, since she'll be sitting on top. We don't want the extra hips there. It'll get in the way.
No, I think you're right. I think if you take her off at the waist, it'll look like a natural flow of a torso.
Right. Okay. So, and then I'll save that and put it inside on one of the pages at the top. Figure out a way to fold it in half, and then, it'll be her body continued.
Martha, I'm not surprised that you don't have very many squirrels, because they are, any predator will eat a squirrel.
Okay, so glue. I just refilled this one. And I'm guessing. I'm just kind of reinforcing the shoulder. And then when I punch a hole, it'll go through the middle there. You could give them puffy sleeves. You could give them, I was going to put like a crown on one of the other girls if I chose her. But I think what I'll just do is put like a moon right here on her forehead. That's kind of fun. Or, or a piece of trim or something there. And then I have an idea. Since I was going to do Mother Nature, I actually pulled out these little birdhouses, and I was thinking of doing something on her chest. But since she's more of a warrior now, I'll find another something, maybe a piece of jewelry, like a breast on her breastplate to decorate it. That would be cool. I mean, that would be fine. Or something like, that's a piece of hardware. But I think that would be good. Or maybe even some of my, the resin pieces I make. Maybe some of those things, or some gears.
Let me see her.
What?
Yeah, something like that would be kind of, something just simple, because she has a nice neckline.
She does. Yeah, I'm thinking like, I mean, I have these boxes are over here, and they have those things on them. So let's get her straw on, and knowing that I will do the trimming afterwards. So I'm going to flatten that out really good. End of my scissors to flatten it. And this is just, made with something from my spray box or a roll off or whatever. And then I did some like painting on it. Look how that matches. Just blends right in. I could probably go up a little higher, because I was going to need to trim that straw down anyway. And then I will be covering these things here. That randomly matches. So, all right. I'm going to put a little glue inside the straw, and that'll be like a stopper almost. And a little bit of that. And then we'll put a clip on it to dry. So I have this little milk bottle. It was an old Pond's jar in this milk glass. And I used to use it for like ink. But now I keep it on my desk to keep my glue in, because it keeps it ready to go. It works out really well. So if you have a little jar that you've been hoarding and you don't know what to do with, there you go. And you can put a layer of white glue in it to and like cover it so it peels right out in case you have a spill. Okay, so we've got that gluing, and this is not quite dry enough to put the punch on. So let's figure out this other arm. Where'd it go? Where's my arm? Okay, so I could take an arm from something else and use it, or we can figure out how to use this one. And it might be, I don't know what I want to put in her hand yet. So maybe I just cut this out because her hand is wrapped around it, and then I can put it over something else, like I don't know what yet. Something 3D, because this is kind of a mashup between my art room angels and an art journal. So it needs some more 3D items, I think. And the book needs to be fairly flat when you go to make that, because you want it to close and tie up the right way. So I'm going to kind of extend her arm here over the sword, pretend like her arm is there, which is fine. So I have something to, if I want to put a thing on it so it moves, kind of right there maybe, because she's bent at the elbow. I could make her an arm here. Let's see, out of the top and let it bend at the elbow. I'm not decided about that yet, so I'm going to wait, because I won't cover the back until I'm totally done with her. So, and it'll probably be a book page just to cover up all that stuff. When I make my art room angels, I usually use upholstery or velvet on the back of them. So when they hang on the wall, they don't scrape up the wall, for one, because they're made with, recycled items and rusty things. But it also finishes off any of your glue or any of your, wires or any of your connecting things, What am I missing? What am I missing? All right. So next, maybe she gets a shield. That looks like a shield on that side or that side.
A shield would be appropriate for a Sharon book.
Yes, it would.
That was a good pun, wasn't it?
That was awesome.
Martha's worried about you losing her arms. Please do not lose that lady's arms.
Oh, okay. I won't. I'll put it right here. How's that? Oh my gosh, you guys, I really need to make a smaller project for the hop next time and spend a month doing this room, because I am overwhelmed. I have too many project boxes from doing all the big projects, and I kind of gather everything into a box, and then I need to go through all that stuff, put it away. And I wanted to let everybody know that one last time, the only reason why I haven't shipped them yet is because I'm one of those people that feels like if they use a bubble wrap envelope, they have to fill it. And they're almost full, but I'm like, I got to get my money's worth. So
exactly.
If I'm going to use a flat rate envelope, I'm going to fill that thing, right?
If you get a flat rate envelope from me, it's going to be full.
I have to fill it. And they are 85%, 90% full.
Then you're doing well.
A few more things that I'd like to tuck in there. And so if you want something from me, and I have 4 envelopes over there, that is why they are not sent yet, because I'm making sure that the envelopes are full. So I wish they had a flat rate to Canada. They do not.
They do not.
It's very sad.
But I told you I'd
try to find lightweight
I'll cover the postage on the one going to Canada.
You're so good. You're so
sweet. No, really, I mean it. I didn't say it, just for fun. I really meant it.
You're so sweet. Okay.
Hey,
Let's
Eddie,
do
it's getting
this.
ready to rain here too. My husband's going to go to the racetrack here in just a little bit, and he's going to sit and wait for it to rain. And I told him I thought I would just stay dry. I love you, but I
So,
don't need to get rained on with you.
well, I was glad that Bill wanted to do this guys weekend again. He paid to register like 6 months ago, and I'm glad he did it because having the house to myself for 3 nights and 4 days
It's a
is like
vacation.
it is because I don't have to worry about putting on makeup or cooking dinner or any of those things. And I should have been in my art room the whole time. I really am kicking myself. I am. Instead, I rearranged the
Uh,
living room. What was I
you,
thinking?
you were just seeing things in a different light, and,
I
and
needed some.
you move furniture about twice a year, so
Yeah. I really just, sometimes you got to do that to feel refreshed in your space again, you know? And it's something I've been wanting to do for a while. And, I like it. It's not quite finished because I'm going through some stuff. And, I'm a box collector. So I have all these cool boxes and antique containers with lids, and I can't help it. And I need to whittle down right now. I'm at the overwhelmed stage because I have too many cool things. Just too many cool things. I can't stop. I can't.
honestly, what I've started doing is I will put things out for a couple of months and then I've switched them. I kind of rotate them. I have a case I can put them in if there's something that'll get dusty or, dirty over time. I just put it out for a little while. So, hey,
It's about,
Susan.
what's that?
Susan is joining us.
Hey, Susan. So glad you're here. How about suspending them from a ceiling in the corner? Oh, you mean my boxes and containers and cool things?
Well, you could actually, with your loft situation, you could probably make something that would hold them. You'll
Okay,
definitely be
so
using all your space.
I do that in my art room. I do have things hanging from the ceiling, like um, I think what I want to do is like I can't. This is beads, so I can't use that. This is some sari that I have, and I want to use something sheer on this part. So I think I have some other sheer fabric here because I need to make a channel for that straw to go in. So, or I could do something like this and do it like, nah, because it totally covers that up. Let's do sheer. I had a white one out here. That's kind of what I was looking for. Oh, what do you guys think of this? Did this look okay? If I used,
You could use the black over it. It actually gave it
it,
kind of a.
it's navy.
Is it navy?
Yeah, I was kind of thinking because this is a piece of sari and it has this trim, and I was thinking it might be fun to add that to like a peplum and have this be around it. So yeah, let's do the blue. Let's do the blue. Let's do
That's
that right
pretty,
there.
right? Ooh, that would be pretty on her up around her breast.
This
The
it would.
edge, no, the edge that you just had in your hand,
I'm kind of thinking
the
like,
white part.
oh, this you mean
No, go back the other way.
this?
That.
Well,
Think
yeah, I
about
was
it.
kind of thinking like it could go around, like it would be in the back and go around if I have a piece that's long enough, like a peplum or like a waist, and have it hang from the bottom of the paper clip because we are doing her a little bit 3D. So let's say I did that, did some puckering. Let's find the center, and it had an opening in the front. So open in the front, picture that, maybe with some little puckers or kind of like a Victorian dress that has the so this kind of fits in there and sets over it a little bit, but not all the way to the bottom, just like a peplum. Are you stepping in what
like
I'm
I'm liking it.
Thank you. Okay, so I am going to use this then because it'll make it cohesive. There's another piece to this sari too. It is right here, and you guys have seen me use it, and that has the trim too. So that could also be an option.
It could
And this
be.
goes with this. So I really like it. And these are like metallic little, but they're just beautiful. They're beautiful. Probably hand sewn. Yep. It's all part of a sari. Anyway, okay, so I'm going to cut a piece of this. I've been trying to do shorter lives, respecting everyone's time and, because I know y'all have other things to do too. But today we probably will go a little longer because of the nature of the project we're working on. Okay, so I have to decide. I'm going to have some ties here, and they'll end up in the front, right? Okay, so my covers will be next to each other. I'm going to have some ties here, and I'm going to be putting another piece right here, and the ties will go underneath. Now I have to decide, can I glue that on before I put the covers on?
Susan, what are Madge cakes? She said we used to make Madge cakes using similar ideas. We couldn't afford Barbies.
I don't know what Madge cakes are either. I wish it would rain here, you guys. Ugh.
Well, Eddie's has flash flood warnings, and we're waiting on storms to roll through here. They're going to be here in about an hour. So
I made myself an iced coffee today.
I've been drinking iced coffee. Blame it on Darcy.
Why Darcy?
Because Darcy's always talking about drinking iced coffee is her favorite. And I started drinking this cream brulee. It's a Walmart coffee.
Oh, yeah.
I started making a pot of that cream brulee, and I had some left over one day, and I thought, dang it, I'm not going to waste it. So I put it in a cup, and I put some ice in it, and I've drank that stuff all day, and it tasted so good. Okay, a Madge was a cheaper version of a Barbie. You'd make a cake a bit like you are working with those papers, okay? So, yes, you would use something to make it like a cake, and then you would stick the Madge down the middle of the cake in her skirt. You
couldn't really play with the cake, though.
It was a cake. It was a cake.
Couldn't really play with it, though. That was a non-starter there. You can't play with cake.
I think I still have a Barbie cake pan.
Do you?
Actually, yeah, I do.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do. I don't want to wait for that to dry. I want to get this on here. So I'm gonna use this one, and this is one that I did earlier. It's a couple book pages that are glued together, and I had taken some texture paste over it. And I think this was the top one was something that was under some alcohol ink projects that I was working on. So because I don't like to waste, I always have to, pick it all up, and I end up with lots of papers like this. So this is a good way to use it. My vintage corduroy is downstairs, or vintage stuff is downstairs. Darn it. Okay, so let's do this one. I want to get some color on the texture paste, so I am going to do that. It's kind of like the crocheted Barbies, the Madge cakes. Then, like the
they used to make something that was done here in the States similar would have been the toilet paper dolls. You go into somebody's bathroom and they'd have a Barbie doll sticking out of a cover for toilet paper. Yeah.
I didn't know those were called Madge cakes, though, either.
No, I'd never heard them called Madge cakes, but That's cute. When my mom was growing up, they were very poor, and they were lucky to get their hands on cardboard. And if somebody didn't need it for their shoes, the girls would make paper dolls, and then they would put scraps of their mom's fabric on them. So I would give anything to have
Oh,
something my mom made like that. That
I
she
almost
told
used
us
one of
about.
Grandma's paper dolls for this.
I wondered if you might.
I almost did, but I decided because my ink was out in my printer and I'm waiting for it. I decided
Yeah.
I wasn't going to sacrifice a paper doll unless I could make a copy. So, because I mean, it's such a
No.
precious collection.
Well, it means a lot to you. You don't destroy stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, and I haven't been in that box for a while. I need to get in there and get some more copies made digitally to share. So, okay. So now we can see our texture on there. And I am going to go ahead and and I'm not worried about which direction the writing is going here. What I am going to do here is cut this out so that I can get two of them on here. So I can finish this, All right. I guess I need to do it this way because I can't really write on the texture paste. And I need it to be slightly smaller. I feel like it should be slightly smaller because these ones were whole pieces that were then folded in half. The cover needs to be half the piece to, work on here.
Diane, it is an East Coast thing. The storms are coming out of Kentucky. They're going to come over into North Carolina a little bit, but they will quickly go through to Virginia and on up. So yes, it's an East Coast thing.
Yeah, we don't get all that here. I mean, we rarely get a thunderstorm, but we do get flooding here because we have lots and lots and lots of rain. And it floods. The house across the street from us here floods, and it was all the way up to the back of the house last year or 2
That
years
is
ago.
so scary.
We're really close to the flood zone, but we're up higher, and the house is up higher. It's raised.
For us, we are in one of the highest areas in our county. We're right at the highest. Matter of fact, one of the rivers that settlers going out west would cross over was here in my county, and they would hang out close to where we live, and the highest spot they would hang out here until the river would go down in order to make the crossing. There was a rock ford that was there, and that's how they would cross, and then they would be on their way.
Okay, and I'm going to trim this up now. Get all anything extra that's on there. And the other one can kind of hang over it, I think. But this one needs to be more even.
Diane, I don't blame you. I wouldn't want a earthquake either. We've had, since we've lived in our house, we've had tremors 2 different times.
Wow, that's
and the
scary.
second time was pretty bad. I was in the living room and I kept hearing something making it like a chinking sound. I thought, what is that? And then I realized it was my china on my hutch.
Scary.
And I'm thinking, what? And I realized what was going on. I woke my husband up. I said, we're having tremors.
That's so scary.
Kind of scary. The time before that, it happened. We knew it happened. It didn't really, we didn't feel it. We didn't really feel it. But the second time, it cracked the foundation on our house. So
scary.
Yeah. I mean, something with age is going to crack eventually anyway. But
Mhm.
up until that point, we didn't have any cracking on our walls or anything like that until that happened.
My thing keeps clogging. My glue's going to be dry by the time I get it on there. I should be using the other glue, but I want it to dry quickly, and I'm just going to have to be careful. Let's see about
Susan
that.
said she's been through 4 earthquakes in Vancouver. Yeah, it is scary business. I've got relatives that live in a canyon in California, and in order to build their house on the mountain that they did, they had to put like 12 feet of concrete down in the mountain for the foundation. So,
Wow.
yeah, um, pretty serious stuff.
We're just trying to get in these layers. That'll make a really nice, significant color or cover too, because it's like 3 pages stuck together. Of book pages that I had. It was a book I had, cut up for lots of purposes. But with a lot of my leftovers, I just started gluing them together. Oh no.
You didn't flip it.
I didn't flip it.
You know how I knew that could happen? Because I did it.
Darn it. All right, fine.
Plan B?
Plan B. We don't, this is the back. We don't cover the whole thing. I just need it to be in a place that, I don't like that.
How
Plan
about
B.
this? How about
Got it. Darn it.
I would do that and piece the part that you cut off.
Well, I'm
And
just
distress a little bit.
for camera's sake, I'm just gonna spray this to kind of match. Okay, that's twice. Don't do what I do.
Oh, that's scary. There's a building in Vancouver that hangs by bungee cords from a central pillar. Susan
Are you in
says
Vancouver, Washington, or Vancouver, Canada?
Canada. She's in Canada, I do believe.
Very close to me. Very, very close. I just want it to be slightly smaller. And then I'll just do some distressing here. Got to get those inks back out so it kind of matches. I mean, it's similar.
Chris said she's been through 2 of the most devastating earthquakes when she lived in Mexico City in 1985 through 2017. Her area was not affected, but it was terrible. And for Susan Fernandez, she is in British Columbia, Vancouver, BC.
You're I'm just south of you. Yeah.
Oh wait, no, she says not now though. She's in Southern Ontario.
Okay, so I'm gonna throw that on there. It's still a little wide.
Diane, I don't think I have, but I will write that name down and look. Is she on YouTube? See, my mom made porcelain dolls, and we had them everywhere in the house.
Was it scary?
I did not think of it that way because I was there from the beginning, but they accumulated to the point. When I moved out of my room, she had a cabinet made, and they were full. And when she started not being well, we had to downsize, and she wasn't able to take her doll cabinets with her. And I mean, it was sad to see a grown woman cry over her dolls, but we had to tell her that we would, we started dividing them out, because we knew if she thought they were going to somebody's house, she'd be okay. And she did. She'll say, "How are my babies doing?" I said, "Mama, they're just fine."
Oh, how
So,
sad.
please forgive me. You know, I mean,
Okay, once again,
I kept them for a long time, but I did find homes for them that people were happy to have them. So I'm down to, I think, maybe 4 or 5, and that's because she made them for me personally.
oh, how difficult. I'm once again, don't do what I do, guys. I hope I didn't use a lot of glue there because I did not put the tie on. I'm just trying to hurry, me doing crazy stuff. And I have to thread a tie through now or add something else. I did that with the moon book too. I didn't put the ties on and had to figure it out.
I did not put the ties on mine either, and I'd already put what I wanted to be my cover, so I'm gonna have to just come up with something.
How do we feel about this for ties with this fabric? Does that look okay if I pull some of that off for her ties?
I'm not seeing anything. What?
This glittery fabric here.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
All right, so let's do that.
Is that a scarf?
This is the one I had out last time, or
Yeah.
I can't remember when, but yeah. So,
Yeah, I brought a bunch of scarves up, and I'm starting to cut them into strips now. I just cut up another skirt this week too. Since I don't work, I don't wear dress clothes anymore.
Right. I mean, I don't wear all those things that I used to anymore.
No. I mean, I used to have to be dressed casual. I mean, the least dressy I could be would be, a blouse and a pair of khakis on Fridays. But other than that, they preferred that you wear a suit, and I just couldn't do that. So I'd wear dresses.
So I could have it on the outside, I suppose, and do it like this and put it underneath this piece that I'm going to put on here where the straw's going to fit through. Or I could do it over this piece where the straw is going to fit through. And maybe that is where the straw fits through. And maybe I'll do 3 of them because they'll be tied here, right? Is it long enough? I've got more if it's not. They'll be tied here. So, or tied the other way when they're open. So I think I could put it, as long as I glue it all the way down, I can put it on this side. That's fine. Right?
That's going to look pretty cool.
So then it would tie right here. And do we think those are long enough?
You could always just do a loose square knot if you didn't do a full bow each.
Yeah, I could. I was thinking it would be where her dress, where it's kind of
bottom,
her dress opening up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it would have like bows in the front or, little knots. Or I could always do a little button and have it, button open or something. I could figure out a different way to close it. But as long as so when you decide where your tie goes, it's probably a better idea to put it underneath the cover piece, so it's connected. But I will, because I'm a silly doofus, I will figure out another way to do it.
Julie, I do the same thing. I don't think about the closure until I'm finished with a journal. And, it should be part of the process. You should think about it in the beginning. Now, Susan, she said you could put a slit close to the binding and it will go on the underside of the cover.
I love it. That is a great
You know what
idea.
would be cute? Would it be cute if you had it to where you had like hooks, put some tabs on it and used a hook?
Like a little
A hook and an
hook
eye.
and eye. Yes. Yes, it would. My original thought with Mother Nature was to have some sort of crisscrossy lace fabric, like punch some holes and crisscross some fabric over the chest. And then I was thinking, oh, a little box would be cool, like my art room angels, with a little bird nest inside, maybe. I mean, there's just so many ideas that I have for this. I feel like I could build 20 of them. I don't want dolls all over the house. You know, a few are wonderful.
Diane suggests using the magnets like what Mariah used on her
I could do
hair
that.
thing.
That's a great idea. I have magnets right here.
You
And
do
then I could,
magnets, and I will use hooks and eyes
the
on
only
mine.
problem with the magnet is it won't close your journal this way, because the magnets will be on these sides. So you would still need something that is going to tie it right here, if you decide to close it up like this.
Okay.
I mean, but I'm going to display it like this on the stand. So, I mean, it's going on here. We'll have the doll on the top. So that means that the magnet will actually work for me. Though
And
it would have been fun to have a tie
Julie
right there.
said she suggested snaps.
Snaps
So
are
any of
cute.
those, I mean, those are all doable ideas. I mean, I'm definitely going to use the hooks and eyes.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to double down on that. I'm going to run a tie through right here so that I get the bow in the front, basically, when I go to close it, just for the way it looks. And then I'm going to put a magnet on it. So I'm taking 2 of those. Okay, so I have magnets right here in my little metal tray. They're stuck to my tray, so I always know where they're at. I have these really cool ones that are washers. They have a hole. And I haven't used any yet, but I just think they're so clever. Because then you can screw them onto stuff and your magnets are screwed on. Like if you're doing cabinets or, you know, something that is like heavy that closes. What a great idea. But I think just a small one for this would be fine. Just these
Eddie
tiny
said
ones.
to use 2 snaps and a twist.
2 snaps and a twist. Like when I made the little wire latches for the Valentine's, like a twist, like as in like okay, hold on.
He's trying to get in the naughty bench if you want to know the truth.
Okay.
Since you're not reading between the lines, let me just tell you.
I'm sorry. I was being
Eddie,
too serious. I left my funny bone, apparently.
Legally Blonde. What was it? The bend and snap works every time.
I don't think I really paid attention to that movie. My daughter loved it. She was like a preteen girl when that came out.
Yeah. And both of mine will still sit and watch it in a heartbeat. They went to see Barbie.
Oh, you know, I feel like that movie's going to be such a hit because almost every woman in America or that played with dolls as a child is going to go watch it eventually.
I think that may be true, but
yeah,
they said that it is a very emotional movie.
Really?
Because basically it's not what you would think of just straight up Barbie. It's between a Barbie reality and the history of women.
Oh, well, that's kind of special.
Actually, my youngest came home and she said, "Mama, I cried," and she's not wanted to just cry at the drop of a hat. So she said it was beautiful. It was intense and
that's
beautiful.
Really cool. I thought it was just going to be kind of like Legally Blonde, like
Well,
one of
that's
those.
I think that's what I had in my mind, that it would be something like
Yeah.
a remake of, something that we've already seen
Something
before.
kind of silly, or yeah. I mean, and
But
it's kind of a kid's movie too. So I never use these colored ones. I never like them when I get them up to my project.
Eddie.
Is he being naughty? Please do. Please do, Eddie. We've had a naughty chair here. I'm usually the one like that ends up in it with my mouth. But we do need to fill the naughty chair, and I have a dunce cap too, if anybody's interested.
Oh, Eddie, that would be great if you could have a dunce hat. You'd be sitting on your naughty bench in your what did Paula say? Your pool boy shorts.
So I'm gonna put some eyes in this, and then tie it. That works too. So I sorry for backtracking there, guys, but that seems
It's a
like the way to go.
crocodile.
Huh?
Eddie, it's a crocodile.
Oh, he doesn't know what this is?
He assumed it could have been a gynecological tool. Hence the naughty chair.
No, Eddie. No, it's not. I'm going to flip this open to the kind of the middle-ish. And this isn't small enough for the eye I just put in there. So I'm actually going to get my little tool out here. And I don't trust that thing enough. I just got comfortable using it for one specific size of eye. And let's hope that I can do this with all this cushion underneath.
You definitely should, Eddie, and you should find yourself a little bench somewhere.
She said bench.
I said bench, not
yeah.
Not anything ugly.
Bench.
A bench.
That's funny.
Well, she's filling that envelope up for you. So you.
Oh my gosh. It's so full. And Eddie, I have to tell you, you post more pictures and you have videos and all that stuff on social media. So I have enjoyed filling yours up the most because I know what you like. And I've stalked everyone else's pages to see, sorry about the hammering, guys, to see what they would like. And I mean, it's all guessing at this point. So, Eddie, you are the easiest to shop for. That is all. Oh, did I do that? Oh, now I have an eye on 2 pages. I can't talk for a minute. Don't talk to me.
I won't talk to you.
Okay, don't talk to me.
My eyelets just got here today. I ordered them almost a month ago. They came on a slow boat from China, literally. And now I'm looking at them and I'm realizing that size really does matter because they're a whole lot bigger than I thought they would be.
It's probably this size that you got, huh? There are like 6 different sizes, and I don't have the tools.
I will order more.
This one works for everything.
Yeah, you'll have to let me know what size that is because these are too big. I mean, I will be able to use them, but they're big. Yes, Susan, I do have an accent.
And then some of them have, sorry about the hammering, you guys. Some of them actually have like another washer that fits on top. And I am not a pro with eyes. I am not. I'm a pro and I have eyes. No, I'm not a pro. Clearly, I'm not a pro. I mean, I just put an extra eye in. So I'll just hang something off that. It'll be fun. I could hang charms all the way down the side and have those in the front when you tie it. Like, that would be super fun, right? You could do a whole fun thing there. You could turn the front where it's open into like an altar and have all the things that either she would have under her skirt or things that she has in her life in there, like a little box.
Not that box, Eddie. Not that box.
Oh my gosh, I said it, didn't I? That is not what I meant. Oh my goodness. The adults are out now. Oh, that's funny.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
It is. It certainly is. Okay, and then I got to decide what I want to put there now because I used a small eye, which is fine. But maybe this will tie around the waist, or I'll have this somewhere else on the project because I feel like it matches. Okay, now we need our channel. And our channel has to fit the straw. So I'm going to use some of this glue, hopefully one that's running today. And I'm going to put this just on the edges.
Now, Eddie, I am not naughty. You're the naughty one. I'm not going to go in the naughty chair.
I was a bartender,
I'm in a
so
chair. I can't.
I really have been in that naughty chair a lot because being a bartender, yeah, you had to. And that's what I was around, for 26 years. So I'm surprised I'm as polite or not in the naughty chair in other people's chats. Actually.
Well, it's usually Eddie or me. They put one or the other in there. So.
And Paula. Don't forget Paula.
And Paula gets in there. Yeah, I'm missing Paula. She must be resting.
Paula, this isn't a good time for her. She's sleeping at this time.
Yeah, I figured she was sleeping. Yeah. As she should be.
Yeah.
The lady's got to sleep. Sometimes she crafts. She creates more crafts than anybody I know.
I have not been, because I've been doing big projects. I haven't been up to my art room much. And I really need to spend like a month solid doing nothing but this room because I need to whittle through some stuff. I need to figure out my attic storage, my slopey wall storage that I have an issue with all the time. I feel like I always have an area that doesn't get finished when I try to redo the room. And then, it's like it rotates. I really need to do that. Okay. So
Julie's asking, she asked me how I do the grommets. Julie, I have had a grommet setter that came with my mother's stuff, her sewing stuff, but I didn't have a clue what it was or how to use it. There were no instructions. So the only time that I've ever set grommets, I have used a tool, a hammering tool. I do not have a grommet setter. I do know that a couple of weeks ago, actually, Darcy did a video where she showed you how to use like the crocodile to set those grommets.
I'm not super clever with my crocodile. I cannot. But I want to be clever.
And I know there's also scrapbooking with me. That is she shows using the crocodile often. So that might be helpful.
I'm thinking some sequins on this would be really cool on her peplum too, if I can manage that. I am just looking for something thin. I just feel like that string is going to be a finishing touch, and I'm afraid to add something that I won't like. It's going to finish the project when you tie her skirt open. So maybe I should hold off until I get more of the book done or her done.
With the big grommets, what come in the kit was like a little square wooden block.
We're gonna let that dry.
It gave you a ring, kind of a ring thing that you put around it to hold it with your fingers. And then you just tap it. I was able to set grommets like that, but these smaller ones, it'll be up for debate whether I can do those or not.
This is the most awesome tool, and it's the one I end up going back to, even though I have that crocodile, because it's graduated and it'll do many sizes, and it's just so fast and easy. It's very manual and self-explanatory, and they have a few different sizes of these for like when you graduate to larger grommets, but I recommend having one of those in your stash just in case, honestly. Okay, I'm going to punch my hole now and put that there. and it's going to get like a brad. Let me grab a brad. No eyelet this time.
Diane, if you got yourself an old Singer, you probably got a very good machine that will serve you well. My mom had a Singer, and then she got this newer machine, which was a very, very pricey thing. And she gave it to me when she stopped feeling like she wanted to live. And I mean, it was written in the will that it was to come to me anyway. But it's a $3,000 sewing machine just sitting here because I can only do certain things with it. I haven't had classes. I don't know what to do with it. Those old machines, you know, that just did straight stitches, I mean, they still are like heavy duty machines because people were sewing all kinds of fabric when they were made. I do have a treadle machine downstairs and I can use it. I just worry about the band breaking on it and not being able to replace it. It's a Bernina. It's a Bernina. When she bought it, it was top of the line. I've got the sewing machine and I've got a serger. And the serger has 8 needles you have to thread. So you know what happens with it. It's in there gathering dust.
I
But
can't even. Go ahead.
I'm honestly thinking about getting it out and selling it because I'm sure somebody would use it. Because I don't know that I want to surge anything. You know,
I
she
don't
has.
understand the whole thing. What are sergers for?
It's an
I hate
overlock
to ask.
machine. If you look at most of your clothes, they're serged
On the edges, you mean?
on the edge. It's an overlock machine.
Yeah. Why would you need to do that?
She would make like
Look.
those. She would make pot holders,
I want to trim that a little bit right there.
rice bags, all kinds of things.
Just, as we go along, we're just, I this is how I work, though. I figure it out as I go, make lots of mistakes, learn from them, hopefully. Just figuring it out. Like that. That's so cool. Okay, I got to figure out the other side. All right, so if I make her another bit of arm there, or if I have it, like I could cut a little slit in right here or glue it on like this so her arm moves. But I almost feel like I should, well, if I put it down there, then this is the other part of her arm. So should I just connect it? And then, well, I'll trim that too. But I could just connect it and figure out what goes in her hand and have this part connected.
It looks better behind her body. It almost looks better if you put it back behind instead of in front because it's a little bit on the short side.
Well, it's from her elbow up. This is the rest of her arm anyway. So if I trim this and put it here, and whatever it is that she's holding can go along here and slip inside, almost like a pocket. But what is she holding? We have to decide. Is it a shield? Because then she doesn't even really need, I mean, that's kind of heavy for her, but.
The one-legged witchy woman has popped in.
Hey, Laura, how are you? We're going a little long today. Bill's out of town, and we are working on our sculpture book from last time, and I'm turning it into a warrior woman. So I'm going to get out my little doohickeys here and figure out, maybe she holds a shield and maybe we could make one out of, that other piece was too heavy, but I could do something smaller in the middle and do paper around the edges. Just clip that off maybe. And it's like a Roman coin. Kind of look in the wrong direction, but that could be in the center of something that she's holding, a shield. Or let's leave that out. I do have some in my treasure box here. Let me get these boxes. This one.
Laura, we're working on an insert that's going to go into the book that was made when we streamed last. And it's going to be, the book's going to become her skirt, and she's going to be popping out of the top. So that's what she's working on.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a paper doll that. So I do have the like some jewelry bits here, and I could probably make like a shield out of something like that, or I bet I have something that looks like a shield. That's kind of what I'm thinking. That's a little lighter. I have a bunch of these pieces, but I don't think a filigree is the right thing that I'm looking for here. Could use up, but it's not big enough.
Oh yeah, that box has magical stuff in it.
It does, yeah. This is my treasure box, and it looks like a treasure chest. It's not right. It's okay. This one's going back. I do have other jewelry on the other side of the room, so I don't find what I'm looking for. I mean, I have it somewhere. I also have my eye candy cart. I have these things that I made, and they're lightweight. So maybe if there's something in here that would create a shield for her, or a, you know, a weapon, or but not. I don't really want her to have a weapon necessarily. Let's see.
Someone suggested that you put a torch in her, make it into a torch.
That is a good idea. I like that idea.
That would be using a lot of what's already there.
Any other ideas about what to put in her hand? I mean, maybe there's a few of them. We could do a little vote if you guys have other ideas. Because I have the stuff. I mean, I know I have it someplace.
Laura, I'm with you. I can't imagine 7 children. I might not have hair left, but they would be well fed.
Who had
and
7
well behaved.
children? Who?
Susan was one of 7.
Oh, I raised 5.
Her dad sold sewing machines on the weekends to make extra money, so everybody got fed and taken care of. That I really think that going back to the time when people, really had to work hard to take care of their families, it's different now. It's definitely different. It takes a lot more to make a house work. Oh my! Susan said her mother used to always say, "Oh my shattered nerves."
Oh my goodness, that's amazing.
Oh, that is noteworthy. Oh,
that really is.
Shattered nerves.
While I'm in here, I'm looking for other little things that might be cool on the book or dangling from her dress, or and then I have some other resin pieces, and this one kind of goes with her. And it's too bad she's got that cool breastplate right there, because this would have made a cool breastplate too.
Susan said to consider using toilet paper to mold a shield and then emboss it, because it would be light.
Well, I probably have a shield, though. That's the thing. I mean, I
probably do
so much junk jewelry. I probably have something that looks like shields. I have a couple of these. They are Celtic kilt pens. And that's really cool. And it's the right style if I could just turn it into a shield. But it's not even. I'm kind of thinking even. or even an oval. Give me a moment. I know I have this. I got this. I know I got this. But wait, there's more. I have little boxes of treasure everywhere. You can always make one out of foil too, guys, and emboss it, like the foil technique that I do with the recycled sticker labels and foil. That would be cool.
Hey, while you're looking, Diane said her mother had a knack of taking one potato, 2 peas, and some spaghetti sauce and making a 3-course meal out of it.
Wow.
And Julie Parker said, you know, her mom's favorite saying was, "I'm worried about you."
I'm worried about you. What was the nerve comment? What was it? What did she say? I can't remember.
Oh, my shattered nerves.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I have never heard that, and that is hilarious.
That is hilarious.
The thing that my mom would always say, you know, things that her mother said to her, but she, especially on Sunday mornings when we were all 4 children were supposed to be getting ready for church and we were watching cartoons, she'd say, "Get thee behind me, Satan." I was usually the first to line up.
Oh, it's too bad that's too big. Because these would be cool. It's those black things that I couldn't figure out what they were. And I have some here with texture paste on them that I could have painted. But it's a little too big. And they can't be cut. They're too thick. I don't even know what they're made out of. Oh, that's sad. Okay. Embossed foil, you guys? Oh, okay, we have a torch. We have a shield. Any other ideas? I bet I have something round on my card. I'm not digging that out right now. That's a terrible idea. I could make one out of a shrinky dink.
We're at 2 hours.
Okay. How are you guys doing? Should I keep going? And, I mean, I could stay and keep working on this. I could use mica tile. There's an idea. Any other ideas besides the torch? Was there?
Why don't you work on that and surprise us?
Okay. I will. Does everybody have to leave?
No, we've got 15 watching right now.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't want to hold anybody up. So I know time is, you know, time is precious. So, okay. So what I'm going to do then is
a paintbrush.
A paintbrush.
What about a paintbrush?
That's a great idea, actually. What I'm kind of wishing is that there was a way to remove whatever it is that she's holding. But her arm would need to be, I would have to really think about that. And sometimes when I have something I'm working on that needs a solution like that, it takes me a while. Like, I'll rack my brain. I'll go through my stuff downstairs in the tool room. I will dig through bits and pieces and think there must be a solution to this. And that's how I end up with weird stuff all the time, or something that might be a little different, because I'm trying to work out a solution to a problem, basically.
I think that you are going to need to play with it, because I really feel like that a little bit of that arm, with it being short, you know, if you can come up with a way to bump it out just slightly, then maybe you can make it to where you could have something interchangeable. I mean, you could decide you wanted to put something for Christmas, or, you know, maybe have her be able to have different seasons.
Maybe I could put a little paper tube right there, and it's something just like a little short one, like a bead. and it's something that slides in and out, so she could have different things.
Exactly.
I feel like there's some opportunity there. So let's decorate her. I will play with this, but try not to lose this arm. I'm going to set it right up here. And I will play with that because maybe then she can have a torch. She could have a paintbrush. She could have kind of like when you had your paper dolls as a kid, and they had different outfits. Basically, those are her different outfits. I think that would be really fun. So maybe that arm won't move. It'll just be on something that is like a flagpole stand, like that sticks in there. So, okay, let's decorate her. So I really want to put a moon right here, and I'm just going to cut one out. I'm going to use this paper, I think, that I was trying to use earlier, or the scrap from this, if I can just get a moon up there, kind of a sticking up moon. So,
Diane said, what about one of the medieval balls with a spike on it?
What are those called? I can't think of what those are called right now. They've got a weird name. Oh my
And
God.
we've got a
It's on a little
suggestion.
chain.
We've got a suggestion of flag.
A flag would be great. Or it would be more like a banner, like a triangular, like a pennant shaped flag. I have some of those that I made with Happy Paper People. You remember that, Julie? When I did a live stream on it, and we made all these little flags to stick in our book on skewers. And I have a few left, actually. That would be really fun. Maybe whatever goes in her hand has a skewer on it, because a skewer is small enough to fit into a little holder. I could do that. I could put a shield on a skewer so the skewer doesn't show. I could put a torch, a paintbrush. I want to write these down.
A mace.
What?
A mace.
Oh, a mace. That's what it's called. Yeah. And I may or may not make all of these, but if I can make them out of 3D items, I decided a few years ago that junk journals are basically adult activity books. And
Yes.
art journals are too. I mean, but I like all the moving parts and things that change and are interchangeable about book sculptures and, this kind of mixed media. It's just so fun.
Diane says she looks badass enough that she could handle a mace.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She could handle a mace. I kind of want her to be a goddess of peace. I mean, I don't like this for that. A peaceful goddess would be optimal. What if I used some mica tile? Where's the rest of it?
Laura says a cat of 9 tails.
Oh. So I would rather she had a cat of 9 tails than a mace. How's that? That is very clever, Laura. So I'm just looking for something right now. I want to make them, for a moon. I don't want to use this because it has the holes in it. I'm trying to think of where my mica tile is, because maybe I could just put a mica tile thing on her head. I think just cut a piece out. Oh, I think it's right here in my. This is what I'm telling you. I started redoing my room and didn't finish it. Now I can't find anything, and it's all frustrating. Ooh, I have this. Okay.
What about miniature bells? Do you have any miniature bells?
Oh, I do. I had one in my treasure box there.
The little round ones. That's what
Yeah.
said that might be kind of cool.
To hang off of a stick or to put on the book somewhere?
Off the stick, right, Julie?
So I need something with a small pattern. It has to be either.
Okay, Laura's going in the naughty chair because I don't know where Eddie went, and it's going to get cold. Have a fella on a stick. with a ball gag in his mouth. Okay,
Oh my
so
goodness.
you go pick up your hardware parts, but pay attention. Don't get distracted by the naughty conversation.
That is awesome.
Laura, don't worry. We all take pride in sitting in the naughty chair from time to time.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so I'm going to draw out the biggest circle I can on this square so that I can trim it and cut out my moon, because we know that the
Hi, Denise
moon.
W.
Hey, Denise. Welcome. We are a lantern. A lantern's a great idea. I like that idea. So she's lighting the way to the labyrinth. It's one of my favorite songs. Maybe a lantern. Well, a torch is like a lantern. Wait. Maybe it's a lantern that has a torch on it. Maybe.
Laura says she lives in the naughty chair. She finds it quite comfy.
Yeah. I have tamed over the years, I'll say. Okay, so all I did was cut the circle first so that I got the shape right, and then just randomly. So this is actually some canvas fabric that it's antique upholstery fabric, and I have a whole roll of it. It's amazing. It's like a waxed fabric. It's fabulous for painting on. It's so thick. It's got, like, I don't know if it's wax, but it's definitely a treatment. But it takes gesso really well. And I've made lots of things over the years with this. I mean, that's the color of it.
Look at it.
And I love painting on it or stenciling on it. And it's just so, it's very stiff, but it's bendy. I think it's got wax in it. In it. So there's my moon. If we decide that's not too big for her head, can't see it. A little bit smaller here. Now, what I should have done, but I don't have a punch the right size, is use a punch and then a smaller punch inside that punch. It's just too big.
Diane says, she thinks that the mace is needed in case she should encounter any monsters or bad spirits. So she thinks that it's unrealistic to expect that she could poke them in the eye with a paintbrush. Diane?
I guess that's true. I guess that is true.
There are lots of things that could become weapons. I could do some damage with a pencil.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Maybe she needs a purse to hang off of her arm,
that arm that's going out, the other arm could hold a purse with all her
that'll work. A little trim right here.
Her little bits and pieces. It could be storage for her bits and pieces.
Somebody suggested that in the last one we should have put a Victorian. Was it in the last one? It was on one of my videos. Let's see. She needed a Victorian, the thing that they hung all their stuff on. I can't remember. A chatelaine. Is that what it's called? Something like that.
Okay. Oh, Laura's saying put a dragon on her shoulder.
I thought about a raven. I might do that, actually. Because originally this was going to be Mother Nature. And depended on which image we chose. So it is still very possible that, she would have a bird on her shoulder, because I have to add a bird to my work. That's how I do things. It's just how I roll. That's how I roll. I'm looking for a gold or a white pen right now. What is this one? That one's silver. That one is white. That one is gold. I just want to do a little bit of outlining here under her, like this crown bit. I'll probably put something else over it, but I want to give it something underneath. Just to give it some highlight. And then that's going to go there, but then I'll put something else underneath it, or just put that on her head. I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, does it need something else under? Piece of fabric, or she doesn't really need a headdress because she's got this whole thing. And I was kind of originally going to do a headdress if it was Mother Nature. I think that's enough. What do you think? Is that good?
I think that you may decide after you put her on the book part that you may want to put something on that. But for now, I think that I don't think I would.
I'm just touching up a few of these lines with some gold. I mean, it's an old photograph. So it's kind of cool to add some metallic color to the black and white. I guess we'll see. What that is a giant feathery wing. I love her breastplate. All right, well, I'm going to glue this down. I'm doing it. I'm just going to do it. That's
Laura said that she may be, that you might be able to put just some small type fibers, little short fibers of some kind from her hat. Like some eyelash
trim.
Or something like that.
So I might be able to do some things from behind too before I put the other stuff on to cover this. And that might happen. I was thinking you could even, like, if you used like a sculpture picture of a statue like we had at first, you could add hair, you could add a veil, you could use some of this sort of fibery stuff that melts, or you can use, it's like an angel hair thing, or whatever you've got to create like a veil for her. If you did like a Spanish dancer, wouldn't it be fun to put like a black lace thing over her head? I just think this is like so much fun, this project. Okay, so breastplate and this. I think what I'm going to do, what should I work on next?
Uh-oh, Eddie. So you've got water coming in your basement?
Oh, right now? From the flooding? Oh, I'm so sorry.
I hope that you got it taken care of. The good news is, Eddie, while you were gone, you got bumped off the naughty chair.
You did.
So Laura came in and really blew us away. So she is now keeping the naughty chair nice and warm.
Mm-hmm. Toasty, in fact. So I had to put this. You would have enjoyed it, Eddie, because there was a cat of nine tails. There was a dude on a stick with a ball gag. So this, I have to decide kind of where she goes here. And of course it'll be open. I'm laying it flat for you guys to see. And we know that there's a channel there for that straw. And that's going to go right there. Although, I mean, it's fine to keep it removable. But I want to add some things to the top right here that are going to go over the book. So I'm going to figure out how to do that. And that's with that fabric that we had out in the beginning. Yeah, Eddie, you would have really appreciated it. Just really. So if I use some of this, let's put this book back out. And there's a lot of fiddling around when you do an assemblage. Because it's all, you're figuring it out. It's a learning process for yourself as well.
Okay, Chris, thank you for stopping by.
Oh yeah, thank you, Chris. I know we're going late today. Usually we ended a little early, but you know, I'm fiddling. So thank you so much. Have a great day. Okay. So I'm thinking just like something short. Where's that trim at? That goes around the back. So that I can actually add after. So the front will be tied right here. Let me tie that.
Pull it a little bit
right
closer to you.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, guys.
You're halfway off.
There we go. All right. Lisa, I think that are you looking through YouTube or are you looking through StreamYard?
YouTube.
I think that you need to refresh because you're way far behind. I noticed it earlier.
I've refreshed
Sometimes
several times.
there's a lag. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I should have got my threader out for that. So I'm just putting this on here for right now so that I can work with the top of this. We'll see. So that's just for now. So we're assuming that this will be in here at the time. And I don't want to glue that just yet. I have to figure out how I want the peplum to work. Look how cute that is, guys. Oh my gosh, look at this. I mean, she's adorable. She really is.
Love her.
She was a good choice. And she was the first one that I looked at too. I'm glad you guys picked her. Thank you. So as far as a peplum goes, I think I'm going to have 2 layers and I will have it go around the back like this. You know, I often don't film this part of my process because it's so fiddly figuring everything out. I think this one, because it's longer, it's got enough of the trim on it. And what I'm going to have to do is take a needle and thread and zip it through real quick and tighten it so that it has like a little ruffle on it. And then I'll cover it with something else. So I'm not going to make it go all the way around and I'm not making it super long. I'm just going to think like this long, I think. Yeah. All right. I'm cutting. I'm going to cut. So I'm going to leave a little room for a stitch. And I don't care about the phrase. You know that. All right. I'm going to make sure it goes all the way around. I may as well go to the end because I'm almost there. And then I have this for some tags or whatever. I don't think I'm putting pockets in this book because it adds bulk to the inside of the book. And I don't really want that. I need it to, you know, I need it to sit correctly. Although you have lots of room to add stuff, but when you fold it back up, then it won't fold flat. Yeah, she's got a great big butt, just like me. So what I'm gonna do is leave some extra because I'm gonna zip a thread through it and pull it. So I need to make sure that there's enough for, you know, to ruffle it. So she's gonna have this little peplum like that. And I think that's plenty right there. And I'll use glue as well. So it doesn't have to be crazy perfect. I'm going to dab some no fray stuff probably on these edges. Let me see if I have that right here. No fray. No fray. Not that one. No. Just had some out here. No, I probably could use tacky glue. over and over. Well, I can't find it, so I'm just going to use this kind of glue. This one. I just don't want those to come undone. Ugh, I'm going to be peeling this off. So just a little on the end, because it's like little gold twisted, almost chain-like beads. See that? And they're hollow, but they're like beads, like the finest gold threads or wires. I can't tell. Oh, great. I have it on both fingers now. I used each finger in that event right there. Okay, so I have this little box right here, and hopefully I have what I need in it to run a thread through here. I also have this. So let's see. If I use just some black thread, I think is fine. This is magnetic, and it came from my grandma, and I love it. And that's clearly not magnetic. Just sitting on there.
I have a red one and a blue one, but mine's not a square. I want a square. I have circles.
Well, I've put magnets on the bottom of dishes, like plates, glued them, like strong magnets, but I've never had one that was built in like that.
It's really nice when you drop a pin on the floor, too.
Well, I've always used the little magnet balls, the really strong ones. I have one in each of my hardware bins, so that I can roll it around when I drop something. Or if I'm sweeping, I can roll it through the dustpan and pull out the hardware.
My husband, when we were working on the Chevy, we had dropped a couple of things that went up under the car. He was, fussing because he knew he was going to get on his down on his hands and knees and roll around to get it. I said, wait, I have a solution. My grab stick that I used to pick up sticks outside so I don't have to bend. It has a magnet at the end of it. And so I had to show off that I knew I had a magnet on the end of my I had a better tool for the job.
Isn't it always nice when they need our tools? Right?
Yeah.
What poor pup.
Now I know he more than once he's gotten it when he's dropped something down on the floor. I've seen him get it. Cracks me up.
So I'm just doing a real quick whip stitch. This fabric seems to want to slide, so it's not as quick as I wanted it to be, because I keep having to adjust it. But just real quick, not have to be even, because I'm going to cover this and it's going to get glued. So I just want to be able to pull it around. It's pretty rare that I break out the needle, so appreciate this.
We will appreciate it.
Pulling out this whip stitch for you. I know this is really exciting, but it's necessary.
I had made Bill a quilt when Martine, the oldest one, was a little girl. And he told me, he said, oh, by the way, my quilt needs some repairs. And I'm like, okay. So I pull it out, and I got 2 sides done before my hand got tired. But I didn't know what I was doing. And so when I put the binding on it, I didn't get it exactly right. So I now know better. And so I went back and I messed with it for probably 2 hours, and my hand still hurts today. And that was Tuesday. So I told him, I said, it's going to be a little bit before I do the last part.
Well, I made quilts when my kids were little, and I didn't know what I was doing. I was just, self-taught. Just a family member gave me a sewing machine, and I was like, I'm going to learn how to use this. And I had always wanted to be a fashion designer. That was always my plan. No one argued. I always thought that was what I was going to be doing when I grew up. So, I mean, there was no question about it. It's not whipping as much as I hope. However, oh, there's a knot. That's why. That just means I'm going to have to do this. Sorry. Trash bag alert. I'm knotting it in the middle because there is a knot. I have to pull it tight. I'm definitely a problem solver, but I'm not a pro at all. I just learn as I go, guys.
Well, I think anytime that you're creating something that's a first one, or you're doing it with a twist, I think that you always have that.
Well, yeah, you have to figure it out.
I mean, it's not like somebody has given you a full
there is
detail.
no tutorial. Yeah,
right.
Right.
It's just learn as you go.
Exactly. There is no. I'm just gonna knot it this way. Because you're problem solving, and that's the thing I love most about creating is problem solving. That's where my brain feels the happiest when I create, is doing projects like this that requires me to think outside the box and requires me to use my brain and dig through my things, basically. Those are just my favorite projects. And that's why I'm a mixed media assemblage artist. Exactly. Okay. So I think we got it there. It's not too long. It's the right. Let's put it right here. Maybe a bit too fluffy, but we're going to go with that. I like that.
Martha said she's the same way when she's problem solving with her things.
That's where I'm in my happy zone. Unless I'm frustrated because I can't figure something out or find something I'm looking for, that is my happy place. Just that problem solving area, where I'm making mistakes and trying to figure out new solutions. Just that makes me happy. Okay, so I knew I needed it that size, so I went ahead and knotted it on that end too. And I want it to be open in the front. So basically this will be connected to the doll and open in the front, so I can have something cool in her dress if I want. It doesn't have to be completely tied open. It can be like a shrine under her dress. It's pretty funny. And it also makes kind of a cover for the book. I mean, that's kind of cool, right? I wish I could show you the angle better. I mean, see that? It's silly, and that's the point. Where did my doll go? Okay, so she would go around back, and maybe this is like a little skirt that snaps on and it's not glued on her. I think that's probably a good idea, because then I can have it or not have it. If I don't like it, whatever. Look how cute she looks. Seriously.
Like a dust ruffle.
It is. It certainly is. A dust ruffle for your art journal. That's what it is.
There you go.
Laura says she uses her brain so much at work that she likes to relax as much as possible when I'm arting. Complex problems are my release. Like, I guess I don't use my brain enough not working right now. And I need the complex problems to keep me going, I guess that would be a good way to describe that. So I think we're going to close up pretty quick here, guys. What I am going to do probably is I will use that magnet closure or a hook and eye right here, so that this sits on there, and it's like it's a third piece that clips on. But it'll be part of her. And then I will do one thing here. I want to add like a little piece of trim right at her waist that'll hang over that. So it needs to be one that is already ruffled. Like probably, maybe not this one. I don't know. This is like 70s. It's got like some little blue bits in the flowers. Maybe I'll tea dye a piece. I think a darker piece would be nice, but basically something right here so that kind of blends in. But maybe I should do the paper on the back first so that I can wrap it around. Like whatever I'm going to cover that with, then I'd wrap that around and do it loosely maybe. Or I'll figure something else out. So this is where I problem solve and go from there. I am going to continue playing with this today, and I can't wait to share with you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope we didn't miss any comments. Yes, thanks for the reminder about the thumbs up. And if you're new here, please subscribe. I know we had at least one new person here today. Oh, thank you, Laura. I love her. I really do. Oh, good. Thank you, Diane. I'm glad you had fun.
Bye, Diane.
I'm so glad.
Hi,
Okay.
Eddie.
Did I
Bye,
say
Laura,
Denise?
Julie,
I did earlier. Okay.
Tracy.
Thank you
Have
so
a great
much.
night.
Guys. Yeah, you guys have a fabulous weekend, and we'll see you soon. I will keep working on her, and I'll post some pictures as I go. Okay. Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.